Hey, my friends, we will be right back to the show. But I have a question for you. Are you struggling with the impact of childhood trauma? Well, know that you're not alone. I'm here to let you know that I'm starting a brand new weekly coaching group that includes a year of life coaching, accountability, support, habit and goal setting, and more. I'm starting a waitlist for the group right now, and I'm only taking a handful of people. And I'll let you know that through this personalized coaching, we'll work together to help you understand how your childhood trauma has shaped your beliefs, behaviors, emotions, and will help you create a roadmap for healing and growth. Right now, you can schedule an absolutely free coaching session with me and get put on the wait list if you go to thinkunbroken.com. My friends, it's your time to turn your trauma into triumph, breakdowns into breakthroughs, and become the hero of your own story. And I'm here to support you in doing that. Just go to thinkunbroken.com to register for a free coaching call with me and to get put on the wait list for the brand new weekly coaching program. We'll be right back to the show. But before we do, I want to tell you about today's sponsor, factormeals.com, where if you go to factormeals.com/unbroken50 and use the code unbroken50, you can get 50% off your first order. That's factormeals.com/unbroken50. If you're like me and you are a person who is busy trying to create a life, heal, work on their health, wealth, and relationships, and not to mention deal with the day-to-days of normal life, you do not have time to be going to the grocery store and trying to figure out what you're going to cook every single day of the week. In fact, one time I did the math and I realized I was spending over 15 hours a week at the grocery store and cooking. When I added Factor, I got to use that time for myself, for my family, for my friends, for my community, and for my business. And so if you're in the place where you need some more support in the kitchen, head to factormeals.com/unbroken50 and use the code unbroken50 to get 50% off. Hey, my friends, we will be right back to the show. But I have a question for you. Are you struggling with the impact of childhood trauma? Well, know that you're not alone. I'm here to let you know that I'm starting a brand new weekly coaching group that includes a year of life coaching, accountability, support, habit and goal setting, and more. I'm starting a waitlist for the group right now, and I'm only taking a handful of people. And I'll let you know that through this personalized coaching, we'll work together to help you understand how your childhood trauma has shaped your beliefs, behaviors, emotions, and will help you create a roadmap for healing and growth. Right now, you can schedule an absolutely free coaching session with me and get put on the wait list if you go to thinkunbroken.com. My friends, it's your time to turn your trauma into triumph, breakdowns into breakthroughs, and become the hero of your own story. And I'm here to support you in doing that. Just go to thinkunbroken.com to register for a free coaching call with me and to get put on the wait list for the brand new weekly coaching program.
Welcome to the Michael Unbroken podcast, where it's all about understanding your past, getting out of the vortex, creating intention, cultivating self-belief, and becoming the hero of your own story. This podcast answers real client questions with real, personal, practical, and actionable advice based on science, mindset, and becoming unbroken. Now, your trauma coach, author, and speaker, Michael Anthony.
Do not quit on yourself. Beginning to heal is the hardest thing that you will ever do. As you know, you have to become brutally honest with yourself. You are going to have to own up to shit that you have done and the people you have hurt. You are going to have to acknowledge the shit that people have done to you and how they have hurt you. You are going to have to choose to become the person you want to be. And it is going to seem downright impossible at times. In those moments, you are going to have to choose to keep going. Things are going to get hard. That's the nature of the game. But you have persevered through so much already. Think about all the experience that you have survived to this point. Think about the incredible feats that you have accomplished because you didn't have a choice. Do you think most people could pull themselves out of situations that you have? The truth is that you are a hero. You are an incredible specimen of what human beings are capable of doing. There is no limit to the possibilities that now lay ahead of you. The road ahead is going to be hard, but on the other side, there is a beautiful life that is begging you to step into it. There will be times you want to give up. There will be times that it feels like the journey won't end, and there will be times that you will question every step you have made. In those moments, you will find a way to continue down the road because you have so many times before. That is your secret power. That is what makes you a hero. It's not that you can leap tall buildings or stop bullets with your teeth. It's that when your back is against the wall and you get slammed to the ground, you get back up. Getting up again is what makes you a warrior, and you will leverage that strength to get to where you want to be. Never give up on yourself. You owe yourself that. That excerpt is from my book, Think Unbroken, Understanding and Overcoming Childhood Trauma, from one of the last chapters called When Shit Gets Hard. And I chose to start this episode of the podcast with that chapter, which is in its entirety, because it's very poignant and to the point here. Because one of the things that we have to understand as trauma survivors is that it is, without question, persistency and commitment and consistency and willpower that is going to get us to where we want to go in life. For many of us, developing these traits, talents, skills, if you will, is a long and arduous process because we've never had to hold ourselves accountable to ourselves. The idea of personal responsibility, self-responsibility, and showing up for ourselves is something that we've had to develop over the years. For many of us, we come from places where the only thing that we had to do was try to survive. We never were put into a situation in which we were able to thrive. That is foreign, and that, now as adults, is what we have to figure out how to do. How can we be persistent and consistent and use our willpower to move forward towards the things that we want? And it's really difficult because we have to come into this with the understanding that until this point, until this very moment, we have always had to just simply make it through. The idea of moving forward and towards something has never been in the equation until now. And if you're listening to this, you're in this position where you're trying to figure out what is next. And you're probably asking yourself a lot of questions. How do I heal? Where do I begin? Do I need a coach? Do I need to read this book or that book? Do I need to go to this therapy or do that modality or whatever? And there's a million questions that are circulating in your head. And often they point back to, am I doing this for me? Am I doing this for the right reasons? Am I doing this for a certain purpose? And we have to identify the why. And I speak on the why quite often because that ultimately is the catalyst, is the thing that's going to push you into what's next. And being able to have and identify your why, your purpose in this journey, is ultimately one of the most important things that you can do, because it is with that understanding that you'll have the fuel to continue forward. And just like the book, when we fall down, we get back up. But what's different is that when we get back up as adults, that moving forward sometimes stops. Sometimes getting back up just means going back to daily life. And then we're stuck in this place where it's reflective of our experiences of the past. And we have not yet put ourselves in this place of projecting ourselves towards what it is that we want our lives to be. And so what you have to do is put yourself in a position that allows you to create a pathway towards what is next. And that starts with defining the why. And that can be anything. It can be because you want to be a better husband, a better girlfriend, the greatest mom ever. You want to just simply love yourself in the morning when you put your feet on the ground. You want to show up better for your work. You want to be the best Boy Scout troop leader. You want to any of the things, right? But that why has to be so indelibly powerful for you that there is no question at all that it is your purpose, that is the thing that drives you. My why is to use my trauma to show the world that healing is possible. For me, there's nothing more powerful than that. That is what drives me. That's what gets me up at 5 a.m. That's what makes me work my face off. That's what makes me write and teach and coach and mentor and grow and heal and do my self-care practices, because ultimately I have to take care of myself so I can move forward in the world. And once you have that why, and what I suggest that you do is grab a piece of paper, as I always do, grab a piece of paper and write down in detail what that why is. And it can be a single sentence or it can be a page long. It doesn't matter, but it has to be a thing for you that is going to push you forward in those moments where you just don't want to do it anymore. And you have to be persistent. And persistency, much like commitment, is about doing it again and again and again. Being persistent is about the idea of when it's hard and you can't go anymore and you feel exhausted and you can't figure out why you're still doing it, and the background starts to fade to black and looking forward becomes exhausting. You do it anyway. That, my friend, is persistence. You have to be persistent in this journey. And that's one of the things that people don't tell you. They say, do self-love, go to yoga, read the books, write the journals, do the meditation, find the therapist. But they don't tell you that it might take you the rest of your life to get to where you want to go. And persistency is the thing, is the catalyst of the drive for you that is going to get you there. Persistency is your best friend and your worst enemy. And what you have to understand about persistency in this concept of being persistent is that in time, it will pay dividends. One day you will wake up and you will recognize that there has been a change in your life due to the actions that you take on a day-to-day basis. And that's where consistency comes in. The idea of being consistent. You may have noticed at different points in your life that you start something with an end goal in mind, only to, within a week or a month or 6 months, to hit the eject button or stop showing up for it, or stop doing it, or somehow find a reason why you don't have to anymore, or make an excuse. And that, my friend, is not the path. Because consistency is required. You have to continue to do it with maximum effort. And I'm not saying that there's not going to be off days, because trust me, there are, and I have had a litany of them. I have had so many days where I just don't want to. And in those moments, that is when you must leverage your willpower. And willpower is a very hard term for many of us, myself included, and there was a period of time in my life where willpower was non-existent. And that's how I got to 360 pounds, smoking 2 packs of cigarettes a day, hating my life, and ultimately stuck in the vortex on a pathway to self-destruction. My willpower was built in self-destruction, not in growth, because I had not yet identified my why. And so at 24, 25, 18, 14, 12, in these moments of my life and time which I was on a self-destructive path, my willpower was geared towards doing the things that were not towards my benefit. And that's what you have to understand about willpower. Just like everything else, you have to define what it means in your life. And willpower, unlike consistency or persistence, willpower is that thing that no matter what you are going to do, you are going to say to yourself, I'm going to do this for me, for my purpose, for my why, and I'm going to go for it, no matter what. Because you see, when you leverage willpower, anything is possible. But getting to that place where you accept the fact that willpower is on your side and that it is something for you, that is a difficult journey all in itself. And the way that you get to that is through persistence and consistency. It's like this interesting triangle. The three of these hold each other up. And on each end of this triangle, you have one of these core elements of healing that are going to drive you forward. And without it, it will fall over. There's no balance to a triangle with all three elements not in sync. And so you have to think about, as you're stepping into this and as you're identifying your why and as you are moving forward in your life, how do you leverage those things? How do you make these practical? And you have to be cautious. And one of the things that happens often, because we come from traumatic backgrounds and we have not yet been able to fully identify a lot of the reasons why we have some of the actions of our lives, it's easy to mistake this effort and let it turn into an ism, right? And often that could be workaholism or learn-aholism, as I call it, or self-help-ism, where you're just stuck in this place where you're constantly shoving things into your brain as a distraction. So I just caution you, as you step into this idea of leveraging persistence and consistency and willpower in your life, that you make sure that you're staying present and aware of the goal. Because it's really easy to get stuck and encumbered in this place where you're just consuming, and not doing, right? So figure out what it is that you need right now. And as you know, there's no right or wrong answer here. For every single one of us, this journey is going to be different. And that's why for you, you have to define how each one of these words live in your life. That way you can apply them to your daily life. And so when you look at persistence, right, you know that you're in this place that you want to move forward. And persistence is about just keep going. And consistency is about showing up every day, no matter what. And again, there's going to be hard days, my friend. That's just life. I'm sorry. I wish it was all roses and sunshine, but it's not. And you know that. And you have to remind yourself of that. And that, in those moments right there where it's the darkest and the gloomiest and you don't feel like doing this shit, that's when you leverage willpower. And you hold yourself personally accountable and responsible. And you put personal boundaries around yourself that say, I am going to do this no matter what. And you step onto the field and you do it. That is willpower. And those things are what it is going to take for you to continue down this journey. Because it's really easy to say, oh, I'm going to go to therapy and go to the gym and do yoga and meditate and journal. And all of it comes down to the way that you're thinking about it. Are you doing it for the right reason? And I remember initially going to therapy in my mid-20s, and it was just something I did because everyone was doing it. There was never any real intrinsic value to my life by going. I just kind of went and told the therapist what I thought they wanted to hear. In the gym, I would literally smoke a cigarette and then walk into the gym, hit the treadmill for 5 minutes on slow, walk out, and then go to McDonald's across the street. You see, I had willpower, but it was displaced. It was not aligned with the mission. And so you have to really, really hone in on what it is that you want to accomplish here. That's the only way that this works. So as we start to wrap up here today, my friend, I want to say thank you for listening. Thank you for being a part of this. Thank you for showing up for yourself today, because this process is not easy. And as you know, every day it's more difficult, and every day you learn more, and every day it also becomes a little bit easier, which is the odd juxtaposition of healing. And I'll tell you this, if you like the beginning of this and that chapter, check out Think Unbroken on paperback at thinkunbroken.com/paperback. You can also read you can also read the Kindle version on Amazon. Just search for Think Unbroken. And of course, you can check out the free courses at Think Unbroken Academy. And those courses are around CPTSD and self-love. And I have a couple new ones coming out, so subscribe to those. And if you will, please leave a review. Share this with a friend who needs it. Leave a comment. Like it. Follow it. Help me grow this. This movement of Think Unbroken is about all of us. It's about us coming together as a people. It's about us coming together as survivors and showing the world through our persistency, consistency, and willpower that we will be unbroken. And so, until next time, my friend, be unbroken. I'll see you.
Thank you for listening to the Michael Unbroken podcast. To leave your question for Michael, call 971-801-2446. Please follow, like, subscribe, and review. And don't forget to check out more mental health resources at thinkunbroken.com. And follow Michael on Instagram at MichaelUnbroken.
Hey, my friends, we will be right back to the show. But I have a question for you. Are you struggling with the impact of childhood trauma? Well, know that you're not alone. I'm here to let you know that I'm starting a brand new weekly coaching group that includes a year of life coaching, accountability, support, habit and goal setting, and more. I'm starting a waitlist for the group right now, and I'm only taking a handful of people. And I'll let you know that through this personalized coaching, we'll work together to help you understand how your childhood trauma has shaped your beliefs, behaviors, emotions, and will help you create a roadmap for healing and growth. Right now, you can schedule an absolutely free coaching session with me and get put on the wait list if you go to thinkunbroken.com. My friends, it's your time to turn your trauma into triumph, breakdowns into breakthroughs, and become the hero of your own story. And I'm here to support you in doing that. Just go to thinkunbroken.com to register for a free coaching call with me and to get put on the wait list for the brand new weekly coaching program.